Welcome back to the video from Anth.Tech, and this is the second Q&A on the channel, and I asked you guys to ask your questions on Twitter using hashtag AskAnth.YT, and many of you did, and I got 14 questions all lined up in the queue. And the first one comes from Elite McLeod, and he asked, what is your favorite thing on your setup? And that would have to be either my computer or my monitor, just because if I didn't have my computer, I couldn't do anything. If I didn't have my monitor, then I couldn't do anything. And my monitor is a 34-inch curved with G-Sync. It's awesome for gaming and editing. It's a 21:9. So it's honestly the best monitor you can probably get, and the computer is just awesome because it allows me to edit 4K, play some really nice games. And that's an awesome question by him. Also, go ahead and check out his channel down below, as he's a good friend of mine, and his channel is Elite McLeod, and the link will be down below, so go ahead and check him out. Okay, then the next question comes from Michael Tobin, and he asks, what has been the hardest hurdle to overcome trying to build a channel among a sea of tech channels? And that would definitely be getting subscribers. It's definitely hard to get subscribers now, but obviously when they do come in, it is very awesome and very rewarding. So that's going to be the hardest hurdle, getting subscribers. Then when you get those, you get views, and that overall translates to channel growth. Okay, the next question comes from David Lee, and he asks, best value camera gear you ever purchased? And that would have to be my camera kit. Now this is from a company called Viltrox, and that holds up my camera, which is the A6300, and also my monitor, which is right up above, so that way I can see myself. And it's really awesome because it even has a mounting plate underneath. That way I can put it on my tripod, and now my tripods and also my slider all have the same head. That way I can just take it off each one, and everything's interchangeable, which is really nice. Okay, the next question comes from Jackson Geary, and he asks, what's your favorite state? And that would have to be California, just because everyone's over there, like different YouTubers and different celebrities. Just have a pretty cool state to be in if you're in the YouTube market or doing anything with social media. Okay, the next question comes from RJ White, and he asks, would you get a red in the future? And I definitely would, if my subscribers go up and the channel becomes bigger, and I also do more client work. So anything like that, I would definitely get a red in the future if those were to come to life. Okay, the next question comes from Tech Notice, and he asks, how long does it take you to edit? And I would say anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, just because of color grading, editing, assembling everything, and make sure everything looks good, adding the background music, different transition, and different effects. So yeah, I would say about 2 to 4 hours between editing the video. Okay, the next question comes from Paul Tech, and he asks, do you prefer Android or Apple, and why? And hands down, I would say Android, and I have the S8 Plus right here. Previous to this was the S7 Edge, previous to that was the S5, and previous to that was the iPhone 6. And I had the iPhone 6 for about a week or so, and I definitely hated it, and that's why I got the S5, then the S7 Edge, and now the S8 Plus. And hands down, Android and Samsung is the way to go. Okay, the next question comes from Tech Right, and he asks, what was your first piece of tech you ever received? And that, I think, would be my iPod Touch, and that was the 4th generation, I believe. If not, it might be something different, but I do think it was an iPod Touch 4th generation. Okay, the next question comes from Tony, and he asks, what do you dislike most about Apple? And that had to be the iPhone. So most of you guys know there's the iPhone 7, 6S, and also 6. Now the difference between the 7 and the 6 is a 3-year difference. Now they look almost exactly the same besides a few different internals, and maybe there's a few different changes on the outside. Other than that, over the course of 3 years, it's almost the exact same phone. Next question comes from Joey Peters, and he asks, what do you want to be when you grow up? And that would definitely be something to do with video. So either that's something to do with YouTube or client work or anything like that. That's what I like to do when I grow up. Okay, so now the next question comes from AK Tech, and he asks, what are the specs of your PC that you built? He's talking about this computer right here. Now in there, I'm rocking the i7-4790K with the MSI GTX 970, all sitting on the MSI Gaming 5 motherboard with 16 gigabytes of RAM and 1.5 terabytes of SSD storage. So it's a beast at editing 4K video, anything that I throw at it like gaming. Okay, the next question comes from Panay, and he asks, thoughts on the iPhone 8? Well, nothing's really official, so it's really all rumors and leaks right now. But as I see, that top part with the display and having the different camera and speaker cutout seems to be really weird, so I hope they don't do that. Also about the fingerprint sensor, are they gonna have it in the display or on the back like the S8 Plus or the S8? So I'm not sure how they do it, but I'm waiting to see how they do that. Okay, the next question comes from Harish, and he asks, planning on getting any new gear? Are you excited for the next iPhone? So am I planning on getting any new gear? Probably not, because I have the A6300, and I have a nice shotgun mic from Sennheiser, and 3 softboxes, and a nice tripod, and also a pretty cool display. So I like all my gear, so I don't see any need to upgrade. Also, if I'm excited for the next iPhone, probably not, because I'm an Android or a Samsung guy, and I love my S8 Plus. Okay, the last question comes from Brad Snyder, and he asks, what is your next tech purchase? And that might have to be the Xeon Crane, so that way I can stabilize some of my shots that are handheld, so that way it looks a bit better. So I think that maybe the next tech purchase, I'm not quite sure. But other than that, those are to wrap up the second Q&A on the channel, and hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And as always, stay classy.